All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the boxing news of the returns of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Now, we are seeing the heavyweight division slowly wake up. I've said on the combat series that the heavyweight division has been the most disappointing in the sport of boxing this year. With all the 50-50 fights taking place in the sport of boxing, the heavyweight division has yet to deliver. And it took Francis Ngannou to wake up the heavyweight division for these heavyweights to finally get active in the sport of boxing once again. But the news has broken out that the Saudi Arabia date for December 23rd that was reserved for Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk will not be happening, as that fight has officially been signed off for February 17th to be an undisputed championship fight in the heavyweight division in the sport of boxing. However, on December 23rd, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder will both be featured on the card, but they won't be fighting each other. Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion, this card will feature Dmitry Bivol, and it will feature Daniel Dubois, would both make their boxing returns on the undercard of this fight taking place on this card of the Saudi Arabia. I'm assuming that Anthony Joshua will get the main event slot. Deontay Wilder would get the co-main event slot. But with that being said, why the hell are we getting these two respective fighters on the same card and not fighting each other? Why is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder on the same card and they're not fighting each other? This fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is giving me vibes of fights that happened too late in the sport of boxing, when it took Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford 5 years to finally get in the boxing ring together. It took Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather light years and ages to get in the boxing ring together. Now we are in that same conversation with fights that are happening too late between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. This fight has been supposed to happen this has been in the making for the last 5 to 6 years. Why is this not happening? Why is Deontay Wilder the only one expressing his feelings on a future fight with Anthony Joshua? Why is Eddie Hearns coming out the mouth saying that he wants Anthony Joshua to fight Deontay Wilder? Well, this is your perfect opportunity to take over a card that was supposed to be featured for Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk on December 23rd. Now you have the chance to take over that card, and you have Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua on the card, but not fighting each other. Why is this not taking place next in the sport of boxing? There's no need for a build. This has been 5 to 6 years in the making. This fight should be happening now when they're both on the same card. The heavyweight division has been one of the most boringest divisions in the sport of boxing this year. It took Francis Ngannou, a former UFC heavyweight champion, to finally wake up this boxing division in the heavyweight division. And it's been missed with an opportunity to have Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua finally fight each other by the end of the calendar year of 2023, with boxing delivering on 50-50 fights. This fight has been 5 to 6 years in the making. There's no need to wait any longer. These two fighters should be fighting each other when they're on the same card. It makes me irritated because you're supposed to capitalize on Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. That was supposed to be the first heavyweight championship fight in the 4-belt era in the sport of boxing. And we're not going to be seeing that. And Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua could have made up for that and had an explosive heavyweight fight to close out the calendar year 2023. It's disappointing. You have Anthony Joshua, who'd be taking on Otto Wallen. You have Deontay Wilder, who'd be taking on Joseph Parker. On the undercard, it is nice to get Dmitry Bivol, the reigning defending WBA light heavyweight champion, in the ring again. He would be taking on Richard Rivera. And Daniel Dubois, coming off his loss against Alexander Usyk, would be fighting Gerald Miller. If this card stands, it is a good way to go out for the calendar year 2023, because we are getting the return of Dmitry Bivol, who is pound for pound, has established himself pound for pound one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. A victory against Richard Rivera would set up, hopefully, for a undisputed championship fight at the 175-pound division between himself and who else? Who's the man? as I forget his name. Arthur Benavidez. There we go. That's a grueling fight to take place in the sport of boxing. I think that could be one of the best fights to take place in the calendar year 2024. Daniel Dubois, I'd like to see him get back in the ring. I do believe that he was robbed of the decision of becoming the unified heavyweight champion after he lost to Alexander Usyk by knockout in the 9th round. That clear body shot that was above the waistline, and was not a low blow. And Alexander Usyk got a total of 5 minutes to cool off and recover, and the rest was history. I'd like to see him get back in the ring. But having Deontay Wilder come back for his first fight of the calendar year 2023, and it's against Joseph Parker, doesn't really sit well to me. I really just believe he should be fighting Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, one of those top names in the heavyweight division right now at this particular point in his boxing career. We won't have time for warm-ups anymore. Boxing is on a pedestal that the sport has not seen in a very long time. And we should not be wasting fighters having co-main events that we already know the outcome to. And we should not get a main event that we already know the outcome to. 50-50 fights. It's back in the sport of boxing. No more ducking, no more dodging. These two fighters should be fighting each other if they're going to be on the same featured card. But those are my thoughts on the returns of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder as they return very soon to the sport of boxing.